In Algebra 2, section 5.2, we're talking about dividing polynomials. Now, when we're dividing by a monomial, it's different than when we're dividing by a polynomial by a polynomial. A monomial only has one term, so that means the thing that we're dividing by has no plus or minus in it. So if we have something like that, we just take the monomial and put it under each term. So this would be 5a squared b over 5ab minus 15ab cubed over 5ab plus 10a cubed b to the fourth over 5ab. So this would be, this would be like three different problems from what you dealt with in section 5.1. So 5a squared b over 5b, these cancel out. And then a squared minus a1, so 2 minus 1 gives me a. And then b1 minus b1 gives me 0. So then I have minus 15, this cancels out to 1, and this turns into 3. So I have 3, the a's cancel out, and 3 minus 1, b cubed over b1 gives me b3 minus 1, which is b squared positive, so it's on top. Then this cancels out to 2, and this cancels out to 1. And then a cubed over a gives me a to the 1 positive, so it's on top, to the 2. And then b4 over b gives me b cubed. And this is my simplified monomial. So all I did was I took the monomial and I put it down each, and then I simplified it like I did in section 5.1. From there, I kept the minus and the plus because these are not like terms, so I can't combine them from there. So I went ahead and circled my answer. Now, when we're dealing with dividing a polynomial by a polynomial, which is a term that has, well, a polynomial has more than one term, I have two different options. I can do long division or synthetic division. Now, long division, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on the outside. X minus 5, I'm going to put this on the inside. X squared minus 2x minus 15. And I'm just going to focus on my x's, and it's the same thing like I would do in long division when you learn in 6th grade. I'm going to focus on my x. How do I turn an x into an x squared? What do I multiply it by? Well, I need to multiply it by an x. Right? So once I put that, x times x is, I'm going to put it here because there's two terms, so I'm going to put it on top of the second term. So x times x is x squared, and x times negative 5 is negative 5x. And I'm going to subtract, just like regular long division. So 1x squared minus 1x squared, these cancel out. Negative 2 minus a negative 5, minus negative is positive, so it's negative 2 plus 5, which gives me positive 3x, and I'm going to bring down my negative 15. Okay, now I do the same thing. X, it goes into 3x, I have to multiply it by a positive 3, so plus 3. So 3 times x is 3x, 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. I subtract and I end up with 0. So what this means is I have this term, x minus 5, and if I took this term, x plus 3, right, I would then have to, x minus 5, x plus 3, I'm going, if I multiply this out, it should give me my original. So when you're on the test and you're trying to check, take your answer right here and multiply it with what you divided by, and it should get you what's on the inside. So this divided by x minus 5 gives me x plus 3. Okay? Go ahead and write this down. I have another board because we're going to also do synthetic division and see which one you like. It could be preference. With monomials, we have to use this method. Synthetic division It's just a different way of doing long division, but we're dealing with coefficients here. So you have the polynomial divided by some term. Now, x minus r. So that means if this was a positive, when I put the r here, then I would have to put it negative. So it's technically the opposite, if that makes sense. And I'll show you what I mean. And then I put coefficients in descending order. Now I have to make sure all the terms are there. So for example, if I had 3 and then a coefficient of, and then a power of 1, I would have to put 0 in place of x squared if that didn't exist. So I have to make sure to keep each placeholder. It's not like long division. I have to make sure that I don't skip anything. So here, the coefficient is just the number in front of it. So this is the so I'm going to start with my r, which is 2, right? Because negative r. So if this is negative 2, I'm going to put a 2 here. If it was positive 2, I would put a negative 2 here. And then we're going to put all the coefficients. So 1, negative 4, positive 6, and negative 4. Now, watch what I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the first number down. Okay? So I'm going to take it, this is 1. Then I'm going to multiply it. 2 times 1 is 2. Right? And I'm going to add. So negative 4 plus 2 is, negative 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and multiply this then by this. So 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then I add this, 6 gives me 2. And then 2 times 2 is 4. And then I'm going to add it, 0. Okay? So these coefficients mean something. That means if I divide this by this, my answer, I'm going to start with 1 lower. So see how this starts with x cubed? I'm going to start with x squared. This is x squared plus, let me show you. This represents x squared. This represents x, and this is my coefficient. So it's x squared minus 2x plus 2. That means if I took these and if I took this and I multiplied it out, I would get my original. So this is my answer. Now, if I have anything besides a 0 here, then I have a remainder. Just like if I have anything besides 0 here, I have a remainder. So then that means this would not be divisible. And I'll show you a little bit more of what that means when we're dealing with the remainder factor. So go ahead and try this. Pause it, write it down. Page 315, numbers 2, 6, and 9. 315, 2, 6, and 9. And I will see you in class.